Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tiravana Chari Jamuna Tiravana Chari Ravana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Asto Saraswati Śrīmad His Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Ananda Koti Vaisnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur Ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Se Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapura Navadvip Dham Ki Shri Purushottam Chatra Ki Shri Ganga Mai Ki Jai Shri Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtana Ki Jai Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Garanga. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 8. Canto 8. Withdrawal of the Cosmic Creations. Chapter 4. Gajendra returns to the spiritual world. Text number 14. Etan Maharaja Tavarito Maya. Krishna Nubhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam. Svagyam Yasasyam Kalikalmasapaham. Tushvapnanasham Kuruvarya Srinvatam. Etan Maharaja Tavarito Maya. Krishna Nubhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam. Swagyam vasasyam kalikalmasapaham. Tushvapnanasham kuruvarya shrimbatam. Etan Maharaja Tavarito Maya. Krishna Nubhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam. Swagyam Yashasyam Kalikalmashapaham. Tushvapnanasham kuruvarya shrimbatam. Etan Maharaja Tavarito Maya. Krishna Nubhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam. Swagyam Yasasyam Kalikalmashapaham. Tushvapnanasam kuruvarya shrimbatam. Etan Maharaja Tavarito Maya. Krishna Nubhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam. Swagyam Kalikalmashapaham. Tushvapnanasam kuruvarya shrimbatam. Etan Maharaja Tavarito Maya. Krishna Nubhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam. Swagyam Yasasyam Kalikalmashapaham. Tushvapnanasam kuruvarya shrimbatam. Etan Maharaja Tavarito Maya. Krishna Nubhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam. Swagyam Yasasyam Kalikalmashapanam. Tushvapnanasam kuruvarya shrimbatam. Etan Maharaja Tavarito Maya. Krishna Nubhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam. Swagyam Yasasyam Kalikalmashapaham. Tushvapnanasam kuruvarya shrimbatam. Etan Maharaja Tavarito Maya. Krishna Nubhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam. Swagyam Yasasyam Kalikalmashapaham. Tushvapnanasam kuruvarya shrimbatam. Etat, this, Maharaja, O King Parikshit, Tava, unto you, Iritaha, described, Maya, by me, Krishna Anubhava, the unlimited potency of Lord Krishna, by which he can deliver a devotee. Gajaraja Mokshanam, delivering the king of the elephants. Svargyam, giving elevation to higher planetary systems. Yasasyam, increasing one's reputation as a devotee. Kali Kalmasha Appaham, diminishing the contamination of the Kali Yuga. Dushvapnanasham, counteracting the causes of bad dreams. Guruvarya, O best among the Gurus. Shrimbatam, of persons who hear this narration. My dear King Parikshit, I have now described the wonderful power of Krishna as displayed when the Lord delivered the king of the elephants. O best of the Kuru dynasty, those who hear this narration become fit to be promoted to the higher planetary systems. Simply because of hearing this narration, they gain a reputation as devotees. They are unaffected by the contamination of Kali Yuga and they never see bad dreams. Text 15. Yatanu kirtayanti tat shreyas kama Treyas kama dvijatayaha suchaya pratar uttaya dushvapnadya yupasantaye. Therefore, after getting up from bed in the morning, those who desire their own welfare, especially the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and in particular the Brahmana Vaishnavas, should chant this narration as it is, without deviation, to counteract the troubles of bad dreams. Purport. Every verse in the Vedic literature, especially in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita, is a Vedic mantra. Here the words Yatanu Kirtayanti are used to recommend that this literature be presented as it is. Unscrupulous persons, however, deviate from the actual narration and interpret the text in their own way, with grammatical jugglery. Such deviations are to be avoided. This is a Vedic injunction supported by Sukadeva Goswami, one of the Mahajans or authorities. He says, Yatanu kirtayanti. One should recite the mantra as it is, without deviation. For then, one will be eligible to rise to the platform of all good fortune. Sukadeva Goswami especially recommends that those who are Brahmanas, Suchaya, recite all these mantras after rising from bed in the morning. Because of sinful activities at night, we have bad dreams, which are very troublesome. Indeed, Maharaj Yudhishthira was obliged to see hell because of a slight deviation from devotional service to the Lord. Therefore, dushvapna, bad dreams, occur because of sinful activities. A devotee sometimes accepts a sinful person as his disciple, and to counteract the sinful reactions he accepts from the disciple, he has to see a bad dream. Nonetheless, the spiritual master is so kind Then in spite of having bad dreams due to the sinful disciple, he accepts this troublesome business for the deliverance of the victims of Kali Yuga. After initiation, therefore, a disciple should be extremely careful not to commit, again, any sinful act that might cause difficulties for himself and the spiritual master. Before the deity, before the fire, before the spiritual master, and before the Vaishnavas, the honest disciple promises to refrain from all sinful activity. Therefore, he must not again commit sinful acts, thus create a troublesome situation. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Kananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Svapadantikam Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lankayate Gurim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. So, some blessings and some benefits for the devotees who recite the Vedic literature or hear Śrīmad Sva Kata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. The activity of rising early in the morning and hearing the topics of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, especially, but Prabhupada also mentions here Bhagavad Gita. These are mantras which have Shakti, potency. Punya Shravana Kirtana, very pious activity to hear and chant the topics about Krishna and Krishna's devotees. And they remove the abhadra, hi abhadrani, vidunoti surit satam, of the honest surit. Prabhupada describes or translates surit, the honest and sincere devotee. So, regular hearing of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and especially this section of the Bhāgavatam, the story about Gajendra, Gajaraja, the king of the elephants, Gajaraja Mokshanam, delivering the king of the elephants. And of course, that's just the external manifestation of the devotee in the form of an elephant. Well, taking birth as an elephant is not the highest. Taking birth as an animal is generally a restriction and an obstacle to self-realization, obstacle for making advancement in self-realization. Taking birth as an animal is considered to be fallen, very fallen. Because in the animal species, one doesn't get a very refined intellect. Neither does one get a very one doesn't have the capacity to hear. One of the things that distinguishes humans from animals is that a human being has the capacity to hear and understand. Right? You can talk to a dog all day long, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and they still want to lick your face. Right? So, although elephants of all animals are somewhat elevated. If there is to be a hierarchy of animals, then elephants are quite smart and quite can understand instructions and can be tamed. Of course, when an elephant goes wild, then that's it, finished. Right? You hear stories of elephants in temples in South India who, well, there's a devotee elephant, Keshava. Was it what temple was he from? Guruvayur, yeah, famous. He left his body offering his obeisances to the deity of Krishnaism, who he carried for so many years as his devotional service. So there are examples of very elevated elephants. There are also examples of elephants who lost the plot and then went on a rampage. And even though they were sevaks or sevites in the temple, they lost the plot and then went on a rampage and killed people and just. You can see the videos on YouTube. They're getting the auto rickshaws and throwing them around. Everybody's running away from them. Right? So still an animal, right? Still an animal, and the characteristic of the animal is ahara nidra bhaya maitunam cha. Eating, sleeping, mating and defending are the highest priorities for the animals. And not much inclination or no inclination for an understanding of purpose other than that, eating, sleeping, mating and defending. But in this particular case, Gajendra is exalted. He's exalted because actually he's a covered devotee. And if you do your, devotees, we were having a discussion the other day about why did this elevated devotee take birth as an elephant? And interestingly, Srila Prabhupada doesn't mention it at all. Is that right? You won't find Prabhupada. But if you do a Wikipedia search, you can find out. But Prabhupada doesn't tell us the backstory. But there is a Puranic backstory that gives an explanation. But he's an elevated devotee. And in a state of distress, great distress, he reveals his identity. Even as an elephant. His devotional service, his bhakti, comes out. And that's why hearing the pastimes of Gajendra are so potent. You know, Lord Chaitanya prayed, I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Sudra, I am not a Vaishya, not a Kshatriya. Not a householder, not a sanya. I'm a servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. Gopi batu padakamalayo dasa dasano das. So the redeeming quality of the elephant is he's a devotee. And the redeeming quality of anyone who hears the topics of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is a devotee. Suritsatam, pure in heart. And even if he's not, he will become pure at heart by regularly hearing the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam or hearing the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says here. And it's an anecdote for bad dreams, right? And Prabhupada explains why the spiritual master may have some bad dreams because of accepting many disciples who are not, have lived a sinful life. And so therefore the spiritual master accepts some residual reaction for the acceptance of disciples. Why Prabhupada says one shouldn't accept many disciples, interestingly enough, because there are reactions. And so, and you can presume that Prabhupada is speaking from example, from experience, right? He's speaking from experience. There are burdens carried by the spiritual master on a subtle and even grosser platform, where there are reactions experienced due to the acceptance of the karma of the disciple. So, but again, the power of the Bhagavatam, the power of the Bhagavad Gita, by regularly reciting the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, these reactions are dissolved. By the practice of bhakti, these reactions are dissolved. Right? And the devotee, whether it's the spiritual master or even the sinful disciple, by chanting Hare Krishna, even earlier on, Prabhupada says we should learn these mantras, and Prabhupada says these mantras are special, special manifestations of Krishna's mercy, because by regularly hearing and chanting the unwanted, the abhadrani, the inauspicious things, the reactions to our sinful life are dissolved for everybody. Right? There's the potency of bhakti. Transcends species, transcends castes or varnas, transcends ashram. But the chanting, and it reminds me actually, Kali Kalmasha Nashanam, right? The chanting of Hare Krishna. Itid Sodashakam Nam Nam Kali Kalmasha Nashanam, right? The 16-syllable mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, can dissolve all of the inauspiciousness of Kali, right? And similarly here, what does it say? Kali Kalmasha Paham, which is the recitation here. Krishna Anubhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam Swargyam Yasasyam Kali Kalmasha Paham. Kali Kalmasha Paham. And Prabhupada makes a point. We recite the mantra, and we repeat the meaning or the explanation as we've heard from the previous acharyas. We don't make up things ourselves, right? This is Krishna Anubhavo. Following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas, we recite this Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and the story of the king of the elephants. Why? Not because he's an elephant, but because he's a devotee. And it has Shakti. Yes. Unaffected by the contamination of Kali Yuga, and they never see bad dreams. This must have been this sounds like this has been a problem for some time. Bad dreams. Because Maharaj Parikshit's talking about it. Yeah. Those who are Brahmanas, but especially those who are Brahmana Vaishnavas. Okay, I think we're finished here. Does anybody have any comments or questions? Drija, Pitambara is mentioned here. Dvijataya, the twice-born Brahmanas.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the class. In the translation here, it mentions the benediction that is given to all the devotees who hear of this pastime. Yeah. Is this benediction awarded equally to everyone who listens, or how does it vary? Or does it even happen that the benediction might not apply to certain listeners?
It doesn't say here. We know the story of what was Prahlad Maharaj's mother's name? She forgot the instructions that Narada Muni gave, but Prahlad in the womb remembered them. So, and we know from experience. Prabhupada mentions here that devotees have to be careful not to commit sinful acts that might cause difficulty for himself and the spiritual master, and especially before Radha Ballabha, before the fire, before the spiritual master, and before the Vaishnavas. The honest disciple promises to refrain from all sinful activity, but sometimes they don't. Right? And yet we've seen that devotees have heard the Bhagavatam, have chanted Hare Krishna, but due to the conditioning, right? Conditioning, they again fall back to well, the opposite of what's recommended here. Right? So one has to be careful. So yes, there are, in one sense we say there's no hard and fast rules for chanting Hare Krishna. Right? But then we go and give a whole set of rules on how to chant. Right? Because there is an art. There's an art and a science to getting the benefits of the Bhagavatam. And if we're not careful, then we can disconnect. There's always benefit, right? And the example is given of having a bank balance, right? And you've got money in the bank, but your card doesn't work, right? So you're restricted from getting to the benefit. And that's very interesting because you see Gajendra was a devotee and a very elevated devotee in his previous life, but took birth again as an elephant, right? So even though Prabhupada doesn't tell us why, we can understand, must have made some mistakes to take birth as an elephant. Right? Just like Bharat Maharaj developed an affection and attraction for a deer. Right? So, and we know, every morning we recite the verse about chanting Hare Krishna and avoiding offences. Right? So there's a few in the Bhagavatam. It mentions there's characteristics or there's quality of hearing and chanting, and attentiveness is essential, right? In order to get the benefit. Same with chanting Hare Krishna. One has to chant with attention and focus. The pronunciation of the mantra has to be, Prabhupada says, you have to use your lip and your tongue for chanting, right? So you're actually chanting the mantra. Right? Sometimes when we hear devotees chanting their japa, it's kind of like, what is that? Even ourselves, possibly if we could hear ourselves. So, the reciter, the hearer, the sincerity, the application, but overall beneficial for everybody. Why we go out and chant Hare Krishna? Who can tell us why we chant Hare Krishna Sankirtan? Anybody know? Raise your hands if you know why we go on out chanting Hare Krishna on Hare Nam. Please raise your hands. It's an indictment of you all if you don't know. There may be more than one answer, so it's okay. How did you feel? Ecstatic. Felt good. And you're benefiting others. Yeah. Yeah, we get the benefit, but others benefited also. Just by hearing a Maha Mantra. Powerful, right? Just by hearing the Bhagavatam, one can get immense benefit. Reciting the prayers of Gajendra. And see, the advantage of reciting the prayers of Gajendra, over time especially, is that one will gain an appreciation of the nature of Krishna, nature of the Godhead. That's the right. So it's a bit like it's association. You're associating with the devotee. You're associating because the devotee is glorifying Krishna, then you're associating with Krishna. And as a consequence, then, as I mentioned, it's pious activity. So, depending on the potency of the speaker, the attentiveness of the hearer, the receptivity of the hearer, and then the application, right? Because it's a process. And even if by accident it happens, right, or just by chance, so-called chance, there's benefits. And for some greater than others, or it may take time for that benefit to fully manifest, right? Yeah, so the answer is yes. Yes. It does depend on circumstance, but overall benefit for everybody over time. Yeah. Sibya. You have to speak slowly for me, Sibya, okay?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you mentioned how when Gajendra called out to Lord Krishna.
When what?
When Gajendra called out to Lord Krishna, Krishna quickly came to protect him. And we also see that for like other devotees like Draupadi.
Lord Vishnu, I think,
Lord
actually.
Vishnu, yes.
Isn't it? Yeah. But Krishna, Vishnu, same.
Draupadi also, for Mother Draupadi also, and for other devotees. So
what was that last bit? You swallowed that last bit up, at least for me.
For Draupadi and other devotees also,
Yes,
Krishna comes. So I was wondering, how does Lord Krishna respond when non-devotees call out to him? Like some non-devotees, they may call...
When we call out to him,
When non-devotees call out to...
non-devotees?
Yes.
If they're calling out for Krishna, they're not non-devotees.
Because they will call out some other form of God that they know. So how does Krishna react to their prayers?
Well, you know, in the Harinam Chintamani, even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says there's benefit even if you say, like, Christian name. Because Krish and Na are in those two words. There's benefit from that. It says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It'd probably take a long time for you to get a lot of spiritual advancement. You'd have to say Christian name a lot. But there's benefit. So, and you know, that's, I think Prabhupada explains it as agyata sukriti. So, why Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas wanted us to broadly chant Hare Krishna everywhere, right? For our benefit, but for the benefit of others, because it has a compounding effect. Even if you know, it's a curse, it's you know, swearing. Yeah? There's some benefit. Although it does mention even one shouldn't take the name of the Lord in vain, right? So, you know, you on a building site, you'll hear the workers swearing. You probably haven't been on a building site, but I have. and they're swearing and saying the name of God, but in a way, you know, that's not really, it's not like chanting Hare Krishna. It's more like cursing. So at least there's a recognition that God exists. That's a start, but it may be chanted offensively. And so we know that kind of chanting doesn't really, it has a benefit, but it takes time to manifest, right? So, you know, and even Prabhupada mentions there's a benefit from lifetimes of suffering. You know, we get our bad karma, and eventually that inculcates or it generates a desire in the individual. Oh, I want to stop this suffering, right? Which might even be selfish, but there's that turning then to a higher power, a higher purpose in life. And so then an appeal to a greater authority or a greater personality, a greater controller. Ultimately that idea of God, the supreme person. So, even those who were fallen, who get a chance to chant the name or to even just to think of God, even in an undeveloped understanding. Because, see, in the Bhagavatam, even from Gajendra, we get such a developed understanding of Krishna and his Shaktis, his potencies, right? his expansions, and his various, this is in Gajendra's presentation, especially in the Brahma Samhita. We get this very detailed, point-by-point description of the characteristics, of the qualities, of the personality of Krishna, and how he expands himself in his energies and in his personal expansions and their purposes. So we get a very deep, detailed understanding of the personality of Godhead. And why the Chaitanya Vaishnava culture and philosophy is so exalted and so advanced, because it's just so, there's just so much information. Right? If you talk to the average person on the street about the characteristics of God, most people don't even have an appreciation that God exists. They just don't even. When I went to school, especially when I went to Port Augusta, I became adept at adjusting to my friends' point of view. You had to, by the time I got to Port Augusta, that was when I was in year 10, 11 and 12. I'd already been in about 5 schools. So I knew if you wanted to get on with people, you adjusted to whatever they liked. And if you didn't, you run the risk of being ostracised. Have you experienced that? Anyway, I went to a lot of Aussie schools, and some of them not the best. In fact, quite very often the worst schools. My father was sent to primary schools that were usually bottoming out. So the neighbourhoods weren't very. So got to Port Augusta, and I had in living in Port Pirie, I used to go to church 2 times a week, which is pretty much unheard of for any Christian child. And I used to serve on the altar. And this is not that I'm a great devotee, by the way. I just was fortunate. I had inspiring priests who encouraged me, and I was somewhat philosophically inclined. So, but then when I got to Port Augusta, none of my friends were into God or going to church, so I dropped that idea very quickly because that. But one thing I couldn't get rid of even though I because of my association, I was. But one thing I could never get out of my head was there's just too much order in everything. Right? There's just too much going on is not random at all, but has purpose. The sun comes up at a particular time, goes down at a particular time. And just like, we're experiencing now, short days, right? So you do less because you've got less daylight. So I couldn't get rid of this idea, even though I professed, God's dead. What an outdated, old-fashioned idea, right? And I'm thinking, hang on, there's something going on around here that, there must be a purpose for all of this. And it wasn't until I met the devotees that then it all became very clear, right? And that's the advantage that we have. Most people can't even think of God. What is it? Who is it? How is it? Simply because there's a paucity of information. So we're so fortunate to have all of this information, and so can appeal to Krishna for our protection, and we know how that protection works. Right? But even for those who don't benefit, right? Yep. Chant Hare Krishna. Benefit. Even people who say, those Hare Krishnas, like our neighbours. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Right? Hare Krishna. But and especially if we behave well, right? Behave like human beings. You know, sometimes Hare Krishnas can behave like selfish people. We're the best. I'm a devotee, therefore I'm the best. But we should behave the best also. Be friendly to people. Make friends. Or if the neighbours want to sleep in, we let them sleep in, right? Because they get very angry when we wake them up. One of my first services when I came to Melbourne was to brick up all the windows so the loud chanting of Hare Krishna didn't wake up the neighbours. But the devotees are thinking, come on, it's 4:30, it's Mongol Aarti, you're going to benefit by chanting Hare Krishna. And they say, no, I don't want to benefit from chanting Hare Krishna, I want to sleep. And if you keep chanting Hare Krishna, then we're going to create trouble for you, which is what happened. But of course they got benefit, right? They got benefit by hearing the chanting of Hare Krishna. But they liked us more. They probably got more benefit from not hearing the chanting of Hare Krishna when we bricked up the walls and made it quiet. Funny, huh? We think, we want to benefit you benefit by chanting Hare Krishna. Matcha, what's your take?
Why Maharaja Yudhishthira was obliged to see hell? Can you please tell that?
Say that again, please.
Why Maharaja Yudhishthira was obliged to see hell? Can you please?
I don't know. You'll have to look that up. Yudhishthira Maharaj, was that because he told a lie? Kopa? Why did Maharaj Yudhishthira see hell?
Well, because the Lord asked him.
He paused.
Yeah, exactly.
He paused. He even though he was such a close friend of Krishna's, he was still attached to being a Dharma Raja. Is that right? And so he hesitated. There was hesitation in his telling a lie. He was thinking, oh, Krishna wants me to tell a lie. You know, we don't have any trouble with that. We have to be careful not to tell too many lies, because then we just tell lies all the time. We think, I'm a devotee, I can tell lies, it's all right. I can steal the Mahaprasadam, it's all right. Whereas it can be seva aparad. Hesitation. And isn't that very interesting? Because we may hesitate to surrender to Krishna. And Maharaj Yudhishthira is a Nitya Siddha, Nitya Lila Parivar. Part of the Parivar of Krishna. Isn't it? Yet he hesitated to tell a lie on Krishna's behalf. So don't worry too much if you hesitate to surrender to Krishna. Just make sure you get to it sooner than later. Right? That's the potency. That's the power. You know, the takeaway that I get from Gajendra's pastimes, at least in our current reading, is the potency of bhakti and the potency of a devotee, getting that association. And even if we're not very advanced, it's okay if we're not so advanced. Well, no, it's not okay, but it's, we'll make progress. We'll make progress by association and by remembering, which is very important actually, because all of the hearing and the chanting should bring us to the point of remembering, right? And why Srila Prabhupada instructed the devotees write, right? Write a sentence or two of your realizations, and Prabhupada said that's remembering Krishna. And it has potency, great power to remember Krishna. And that's, that's kind of that's the level of bhakti that's where the inspiration and the identity of a devotee is absorbed just spontaneously in thinking of Krishna. And why service is so important, why rendering of service is so important, because in the rendering of service we're thinking. Prabhupada says, when we go to sell books, or if we go to make life members, this is in the Nectar of Devotion, we're thinking, I'm doing this for Krishna, right? So it's an enhancement of the meditation. And why we associate with the devotees, because the devotees are always thinking, let me do this for Krishna, let me do that for Krishna. This is for Krishna's pleasure. Krishna doesn't like this, so I won't do it. So, that association and to the point of where we spontaneously remembering Krishna. Not very difficult to get to that point, but that's what's required to be absorbed so that next birth go to a higher destination. Okay, anything else? Yeah, so don't hesitate. But if you do, it's okay. Just because it's not unusual to be a little hesitant. Even Maharaj Yudhisthira was. But of course, it's interesting, isn't it, how that piety, and this is another element of that example, that piety of Maharaj Yudhisthira was an obstacle to bhakti. Right? I shouldn't tell a lie. Now, you should not tell lies. Right? For devotees, not good to tell lies. Although Prabhupada did say by hook or by crook, get them to take a book. So, see, it depends on situation, right? Depends on context. Everything depends on context. So generally in the association of the devotees, we're surit satam. What does satam mean? Well, Prabhupada describes it as honest and truthful. Right? In fact, that's a name of Krishna, Satyam. Right? And generally, or broadly can be translated as truthful. Huh? And the art of Vaishnava culture is to know when to tell lies and when not to. Right? But generally, most of the time, a devotee is truthful, honest. Otherwise, if we become habituated to not being honest, then we start to cheat out. The first person who gets cheated is us. We cheat ourselves. We think, oh yeah, I'm a really advanced devotee. You wanted to say something, Prabhu? You got the microphone. It was rising up to your mouth, so I thought we might get some enlightenment from you. Huh? Okay.
So when to lie?
When to what?
When to lie?
When to?
Lie.
Lie. I don't think you can tell lies, can you, Matsya? Can you tell lies? No. Always honest.
For the benefit of others, to give Krishna consciousness?
I think on the whole we should not tell lies. And there may be an occasional exception that proves the rule. Right? Maybe. You know, and it's the nature of, and Prabhupada mentions it actually. Prabhupada says, when you're doing business, right? When you're doing business, you can tell lies. For you, we make no profit. I heard one of the devotees last night saying, we just get a donation to cover the cost of printing the books. Right? Have you heard that one before? Huh?
When you were growing up, they say sometimes the drunken man is coming looking after his wife to beat or something like that.
What?
A drunken man coming chasing a wife and coming to beat the wife.
Hare Krishna.
So in that case, if they ask, my wife come, we can say no.
Yes. Okay, yes. But I hope that you're not associating with drunkards who beat their wives. But yeah, that is a rather extreme example. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki jai. Mahaprasadam ki jai. Jaya
Guru Sri Juta Padakamalang Sri Gurun Vaishnavangsam Sri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathantam Svam Sajivam Shakaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitanstam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava महाराज भगवान की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद Dasamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Yamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Gokula Ranjana Dasamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gopi Parana Dhana Magana Manahara Kaliya Damana Vidhana Gopi Parana Dhana Madana Manahara Kaliya Damana Vidhana Dasamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Dasamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Gopi Parana Dhana Parana Dhana Magana Manahara Kaliya Damana Vidhana Dasamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Mama Harinam Amya Vilasa Dipina Purangara Nabina Nagaramana Mangki Magana Subhasa Mama Harinam Amya Vilasa Dipina Purangara Nabina Nagarabara Mangki Magana Subhasa Dasamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Dasamati Nandana Brajabada jana palana asur ilanasana nanda gadhana rakhamala govinda madhava navanita taskanam Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskanam Sundarananda Gopala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskanam Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskanam Sundarananda Gopala Dasamati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Dasamati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Samati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Ramanata Tachara Jamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasana Hara Rasarasika Kripama Rachara Gopi Vasana Hara Rasarasika Kripama Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavanatava Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavanatava Bhakti Vina Gajasayam Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavanatava Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavanatava Bhakti Vina Gajasayam Dasamati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Dasamati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Gopi Paranadhana Madana Manahara Kaliya Damana Vidhanam Gopi Paranadhana Madana Manahara Kaliya Damana Vidhanam Samati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Samati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Krishna Hare Ras Rasika Kipamay Ramuna Tatatara Gopi Vasana Hare Ras Rasika Kipamay Śrīradha Vallabha Vrindavanata Śrīradha Vallabha Vrindavanata Bhaktivedanta Śrīradha Vallabha Śrīradha Vallabha Mananata Bhaktivedanta Samati Nandana Brajavadanagar Gokula Ranjana Samati Nandana Krishna Kirtana Ganana Kanapatau Premamrita Vanidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Tau Kirtana Ganana Prabhu Premamritam Vanidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priya Priya Karo Nimar Ramu Pujitau Chaitanya Kripa Bharau Bhuvi Bhuva Bhara Vahan Tarak Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Sri Jiva Gopalaka Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Sri Bhagavata Krishna Kirtana Gana Kirtana Gana Nartana Paramu Premo Metamani Veera Veera Jana Priya Priya Karo Nima Pujitam Chaitanya Kripa Bharau Sri Chaitanya Kripa Bharau Bhuvi Bhuva मारव अंतरक वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुग श्री चारणै पुनः सद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरण करो विचारणैकनुगुणा सद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणं विचारणैकनुगुणा सद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणं श्री चैतन्य कृपा बरौ लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणं करो विचारणैकनुगुणं तद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणं करो Radha Krishna Radha Krishna Padara Vindau Vajanamritau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mattalika Vande Rupa Sanatanam Raghujugal Siji Dana Natala Parau Prema Manidhi Veera Veera Janapriya Nirma Ujitam Chaitanya Kripa Bharau Bhubi Bhuba Mara Manta Rakau Bande Rupa Sanatanam Rakhujuga Vasudasudasure Chatasure Chidarajalakim Dharnisha Ajavadasa Jadagada Ranna Takva Mandalasani Sada Tuchava Bhutvadi Nagane Chato Karunaya Takvasdu Mandalapati Sani Sada Tuchava Bhutvadi Nagane Chato Karunaya Popina Kan Asita Gopi Bhavarsamritabdalahari Gopi Bhavarsamritabdalahari Kallo Lamarnam Maha Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugal Sriji Bhagavata Radhe Braj Devike cha He Nanda Suna Kuta He Radhe Braj Devike chalalite He Nanda Sunakutah Shri Govardhana Padapatale Kalindi Bane Utah Radhe Braj Devike chalalite He Nanda Sunakutah Shri Govardhana Padapatale Kalindi Mane Kutah Go Santabite Go Santabite Sarvato Prajapure Khedai Biuvalau Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugal Sriji Mahadaka Go Santapiti Sarvato Prajapure Khedai Mahabhihu Bhalau Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugal Sriji Malaka Krishna Kitala Kana Nakana Param Premamritam Manidhi Dhira Dhira Janapriya Priyakarau Himansarau Udita Sri Chaitanya Kripabhara Bhubi Bhuva Maraha Vahan Tarakau Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugal Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi